Hey, welcome back everybody to another episode of Matt at the Cabin. I'm inside the cabin because it's December and it is cold outside. So it's a little bit warmer in here, but you may see my breath or whatever. Just um, wanted to do another chat, and I've been thinking about something recently. What do you want your life to be like? What do you want in life? It's a question we probably all ask at different times in our lives, and it doesn't matter if you're 20 or 40 or 60 or whatever your age is. And maybe as we get older, we ask that question a bit more often. But I've been thinking about that a little bit, and I'll connect it back to sobriety shortly because that's what we do on this channel. But first off, there are 5 different, I think, key elements to consider or to ask yourself in terms of what do you want your life to be like. The first one is, do you want a life of peace, or do you want a life that centers on the hustle and bustle of modern social and economic kind of stuff that goes on right now? I know I want a life of peace, and I do a lot of things to try to get that type of lifestyle. And I do a lot of things on a day-to-day basis to try to be in a peaceful place. And that just means slowing down. It means noticing the simple things, not taking things for granted, and being very comfortable with who you are, and making sure that you are, doing things for yourself and the people around you. But the hustle bustle and busy and messy lifestyle of so many right now is like immediate gratification. It's kind of keeping up with the Joneses. I want this because I see it. It's being focused way too much on screen time, YouTube, Twitter, all that kind of crap. And you can lose sight really quickly of what it means to be at peace and what it means to lead a peaceful life. So that's number one. But I started with that one because I also think it's the most important, right? So if you don't make the decision to lead a peaceful life, and you don't want a peaceful life, and I guess that's fine. I mean, if you want to be in the hustle bustle of everything right now, that's not a big deal. But for all of us that want a peaceful life, I've talked about this before. It means making sure that you are doing things for yourself. It means making sure that you have people around you that maintain that peace, and that it's okay for you to continue to go that route. You don't want drama in your life. You don't want, to be overwhelmed with different things. And so find your professional and personal journey and make sure that it's a peaceful one. And I think that's a good way to get started. Number 2, do you want a spiritual life, or I call a vacant life? Now, I'm not going to sit here and pontificate about religion or, those types of things, because everybody has their own viewpoint on that. And I'm going to respect that, obviously. But do you want a spiritual life? And that spirituality can mean whatever you want it to mean. It can mean, like for me, getting in nature, finding your spirituality and your peace in that way. Every single time I go for a walk, or I go for a hike, or I try to get in nature, whether it's me or my kids and my wife, whatever, I try to really connect to the spirituality of that. And it's a great way for me to do it. For other people, it could be going to church. It could be part of a church community. It could be reading different books that are centered on spirituality or religion or finding God. So whatever that is for you, I think finding a life that has some purpose in terms of some spirituality in it is going to be something that's important, versus an empty life or a vacant life where you might not have that. And again, spirituality can be whatever you want it to be, and it can be defined however you want to define it. And I think that's important, though, just as equally as important as having a peaceful life. So hopefully you can find some spirituality in your life. And that is a huge, huge push as you get into sobriety and recovery, to find the spirituality of it as well, and to understand that it is one day at a time, but there's some bigger things out there, and that it's important to recognize those things. Third, do you want to lead a healthy lifestyle or a sick lifestyle? Now, I could have said unhealthy, but I said sick lifestyle on purpose. And a healthy lifestyle means emotionally, physically, and spiritually healthy. So let's start with the physical. Are you setting a goal for yourself of X amount of steps per day? Maybe it's 10,000, 8,000, 6,000, whatever is attainable for you. You don't have to meet it every single day, but if you have a goal out there that you're trying to get to, that gives you some purpose and it maintains a healthy lifestyle. Are you eating nutritious foods, or do you just connect back to the hustle and bustle of society and zip around and eat what you can eat and go to McDonald's or other places like that and just get the food that you can get? Like that, we all do that at times, right? But if that becomes your norm, that's not going to be super healthy. And third, are you emotionally healthy? Do you recognize the emotions that you're feeling? Do you take stock in those emotions and kind of work through them instead of just suppressing them? A great way to do that is through journaling, and I did another video on the power of journaling, so check that out if you want to. But I, for one, would rather lead a healthy lifestyle for myself and those around me than one that is unhealthy. Fourth, I'm sorry. Do you want to have a lifestyle that is very simple, or would you like a lifestyle that's very complex? I think about this in terms of work. So I want a profession and a job where I am satisfied, I'm challenged, and it's worth it for me. But it's simple. I don't want a job that eats into my private time or eats into my family time, because then you get into the cycle of day after day after day of defining yourself by your job. You don't define yourself as a husband, wife, sibling, father, mother, daughter, son, however you else would define yourself. And if you define yourself by, hey, I do this for a living, then that probably means that it might be too central to your existence and things like that. I like to keep things a little bit more simple. Yes, I have a job. Yes, I take it seriously. Yes, I do the best that I can do in that every single day. But if someone says, hey, how would you define yourself? That's not on the top 3 or 4 of my list. And so I think that that's a question you can ask yourself. If you were going to explain yourself to someone else that you just met, would it include your profession? Would that be high on your list? And if so, why is that? The opposite of this is a very complex life where you just have too much tugging at you all the time, too many other people to satisfy, too many different things that pull you in different directions. And then your priorities kind of get off kilter and you're not able to really center on the things that are the most important, I think, which are family, friends, taking it slow, enjoying each moment, that kind of stuff. So I strive to continue to lead a life of simplicity, and hopefully you do too. And then the last one, are you self-driven, or is your lifestyle dictated by others? So this kind of wraps up all of this stuff together, right? So there are things that are important to you, and you have values that you lead your life by, whatever those values might be. But are they determined by you? And if they are you able to continue to push forward based on those values? Or are other people dictating what you do? Do other people manage your time for you? Do other people determine how you're going to spend your day, how you're going to spend your free time? And if it is so, and it's not satisfying for you, then that's a simple answer is you can't continue to let that happen. Why would you let others dictate time, which is going to be the most precious asset we all have, as well as how you're going to communicate with others, who you're going to connect with, what's important to you, what you're going to value, all those types of things. So you have to be self-driven. You have to understand what your goals are. You have to make sure that those goals are congruent with who you are as a person and where you see yourself in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, whatever the case is. So I really believe that, leading a life, just to review this, of peace, of spirituality, one that is healthy and simple and self-directed, is going to benefit you and the people around you in so many positive ways. So how does this connect back to sobriety? Well, it does, because sobriety is a key piece in these 5 different elements, right? When you can be at peace with your decisions and you're on the other side of an addiction, and you can be spiritually in a very good place, whatever that may be for you, you're leading a life of simplicity, and you're self-driven, all of those things are going to be way more important than going back to alcohol, going back to that next drink, going to that next social event where you know that there's going to be alcohol, where you define yourself by that drink. And you're not going to define yourself by, groups of friends that drink, or you're not going to define yourself by that drink that could be your best friend. Because I've been there, and you don't want to be in that situation. I'll close with this. There's a quote that I really believe defines a lot of us and how we operate and do things. And it's one most people hear all the time or have heard before, but it's you reap what you sow. The things you put into life, the tools that you use, the ingredients of your life day to day to day, always are going to determine what your outcomes in life are. So if you can reap what you sow in positive ways, in peaceful ways, in simple ways, and you can make those decisions for yourself, the outcome is going to be so much better for you and the people around you. So I hope this gets to the heart of some of the questions that maybe we ask ourselves as we get a little bit older. And, if you ask yourself those questions, if you don't like the answers, maybe it's time to reevaluate some stuff. And if you do like the answers, awesome, great for you. You're on the road to whatever recovery or lifestyle that you want, which is just great stuff. So as I always end, if you are struggling with an addiction, or you are in need of some help for different reasons, look up your local AA chapter, The Meeting Guide app is a great one. Smart Recovery is another website. There are people out there that are willing to help, and there are groups that are willing to help. So take that as you will. Matt in the Cabin, I hope you have a great next couple days. And as always, that's goodbye for now.